Hey everyone, Aaron here from Arrow. Today we're going to take a quick look through our Pricefinder integration. So we're going to go through from sort of start to finish. We're going to have a look at how you can activate the integration, set it up, and then we'll take a look at some of the data you can start to put to use inside our software. So let's get into it. You can see here I'm logged into my Arrow account. So to configure the integration, what we need to do is just come up to the setup icon up here, click on that, click on integrations in the general column. It's going to take you to this integrations page. You should be able to see the Pricefinder integration in your account now. If you can't see it there, you might just need to log out and log back in, depending on when you're watching this video. Once you see it, click on that setup icon on the top right-hand corner of the Pricefinder row, and that will take you to the integration setup page. All you need to do is click on activate. You need to chuck in your username and password. Now this is just the username and password that you use to log into your Pricefinder account. So I'm going to chuck in our dummy details right here. What you can do is just click on test credentials there just to make sure you've put the right details in. Click on that. As long as you put the right details in, it's going to say it's okay. If you've entered the incorrect details, it'll come up with an error. You'll just need to go and reset your password or enter the right details into this form. Once that's all green and ticked, we can go ahead and save this. You'll notice there's another section down here. This is just some default settings for the CMA email that you're going to see later on. So if you wanted to change that default subject and default body when you are sending out CMAs from the software, you can do that here. We can always come back and edit that later on though. So let's go ahead and click save. That'll do its thing, and it's going to activate the integration. You can see here on the right hand corner it's now marked as green and active. So let's jump into the software and start having a look at what has happened now that we've activated that integration. So I'm just going to pull up a property record. So I'm going to click on my search icon at the top right, and we're just going to go to this property here, 16 Hickory Drive. Click on that property record. You'll notice I'm on the property record, not the listing record. So we're not showing the Pricefinder data on the listing details, just on the property details record. And you'll see down the left-hand side here, we've actually now got a Pricefinder tab. Okay, if I click on that, it's going to actually automatically link this property record in your Arrow account to the corresponding record on Pricefinder. So it's very quick, but it just did a little look up there, and it actually automatically found the property record. Now sometimes if the address is maybe a new address or it's typed incorrectly in either our system or in the Pricefinder system, there might be a mismatch. It might not be able to find that corresponding property record, and it's going to come up with an option to actually select it manually. I'll show you that screen real quickly before we get into this data. So I'll just actually manually unlink it, clicking this unlink Pricefinder button. Click on link, and it's going to come up with this search tool here. Okay, so I've now basically just gone, okay, that was the wrong property, let's manually link it to one. So you can see here I've got the search address in here. I'm going to click search. It's only going to come up with one result here because there's only one match. If you had multiple matches, it would list them here. You can click view on Pricefinder, but if you're sure that that's the right property, just click on use this property, and from that point on, that property record in your database is now linked with the correct property record on Pricefinder. So let's click on use this property. We'll link it up, and that's going to go and get the data from Pricefinder. We've unlinked it, so it's just taking a little bit longer now because it's got to refetch the data. And straight away there you can see everything's been pulled in. Okay, so we're going to run through a few of these things now and just talk through some of the data that we're showing in here. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of the data, I'll just run through these actions up the top of the page. So we've got a refresh icon on the left here. That's just if there's been a change, or if you haven't been back to this property record in a while and there's been a new sale or a new listing go on the market and you want to see that in your system, hit refresh. It'll go and request a new set of data from Pricefinder, and it'll make any updates in here automatically. This view on Pricefinder button, really handy. There's quite a few things that Pricefinder do in their system that they don't give us the ability to do through the API. There's some really handy tools in the Pricefinder account that you probably already know about if you're using that. If you want to quickly open this record in your Pricefinder account, all you've got to do is click on that view on Pricefinder button, and it goes and generates a URL that you can then just click like that, and it's going to log you into your account automatically using those credentials that you put into the setup page, and it's going to pull up that standard Pricefinder user interface that you're used to, and you can go ahead and do everything you'd normally do in your Pricefinder account from that section there. Come back to the Arosoftware tab here and we'll start going through some of this data. We have a summary section up the top here. It's just running through some of the key information for this particular property, so address, the type of property. We've got some features on the right hand side here, details of the land, so size, view on maps. That'll actually open a new tab on Google Maps so you can see the exact location. It's got some owner details. These are fake owner details, by the way, just for the purpose of this demonstration. But if there is owner details against that property in Pricefinder, they're going to show here. Some property photos, so we'll show the main image here just so you've got a visual, a bit of visual recognition there on that property record. If there's floor plans available in the Pricefinder database, that will also show here. And then if we keep coming down the page, you're going to see a few more things. So we've got our CMA section where we generate CMAs. We haven't generated one just yet, so we've got nothing showing there just yet. We're going to come back to that. And then we've got our sale history, just when has it been sold. Our for sale history, when has it been on the market for sale. For rent history, when has it been on the market for rent. And our valuation of the land history here as well. And then just a few miscellaneous things down the bottom in relation to the Pricefinder API. So let's come back up to this CMA section. I just want to show you this. Obviously that data we've just gone through, it's the standard data that you have in Pricefinder. It's now just visible right within your Arrow account, so you don't have to go into your Pricefinder account to get a summary of that property when you are doing your prospecting. Let's focus on this CMA section now. So I'm going to go ahead and just click on Request for Sale, and that just means I'm requesting a sales CRM. You'll see it pulls up a few little fields here that Pricefinder give us the ability to customize, so I can make some tweaks to the CMA that I'm generating, and then I can actually remember these settings. So if you're doing the same options when you're generating your sales CMAs every time, just save those, and then every time you do your next one, it's just going to remember them automatically. You can always make some changes if you do after you do save it as well, if you choose to do so. So let's click on Request CMA. Just so that can start doing its thing, depending on how things are going with, on our server and the Pricefinder server. It can take up to maybe 1.5 minutes. So we'll let that one sit there. And whilst we're doing that, I'll just talk to the fact that you can generate the rental CMA from here as well. So right next to the Request for Sale button, we've got a Request for Rental button. Same thing, few options here that Pricefinder let us alter. I can select what I want here. Again, remember this, and then just click Request. We won't do that one. We're just going to do the sales one for now, and then I'm going to show you a few things that you can do with that CMA. It's worth noting, whilst we're waiting for this to generate, that the look and feel of the CMA is not, we can't set that in from our software, so that's just predefined on your Pricefinder account. So if you do want to make some tweaks, you need to contact Pricefinder or log into your account and make some changes there. Things like changing your logo and that kind of stuff can all be done through that account. So feel free to jump in there and make some changes. We simply request the CMA in the format that you've defined in your Pricefinder account. It then gets generated, it gets sent back to your Arosoftware account, and then it gets stored against that property record so that we can view it directly from in here and send it out to the vendor if you want to do that. Okay. Cool, so as you can see here, our CMA is now generated. Like I said earlier, it can take a couple of minutes to generate, so it's best to, if you are going to be sending out a CMA, when you get on this Pricefinder tab, just click Generate, get that started whilst you're reviewing this data. There's a lot that Pricefinder have got to get into that CMA, so it does take a little while to come back through to our system. But yeah, you can see here, it's gone through, status completed, and I've got a few actions here, so I can go ahead and view that CMA, have a look at the PDF file that's now stored in your Arrow account, and just review what's been put into it. I can obviously delete it, but I can also send it. Okay, so if I click on Send as Email, you'll see our email form pops up. It's going to automatically set a few things for us. It's automatically attached to CMA, of course. It's automatically attached the vendor that I've loaded to this particular property. If you don't have a vendor on the property record just yet, that'll stay blank and you can select whoever you want. I can obviously add in some more contacts here if I choose to do so, or tack on a CC and BCC. Standard email features in here. The property reference is automatically been set because it's in relation to that property address. and it's set that email subject and email body based on those settings we saw earlier in our Pricefinder integration setup page. So I can change this now, write whatever I want in that email. If you do want to change that default subject and default body, like I said, jump into that setup page and make that tweak. And yeah, got my signature down the bottom, all ready to send. I'm going to go ahead and click send on that. That'll do its thing. And you'll see it takes me back to that property record. I've now got a communication loaded in here on the property record, so I can see that it has been sent, and just keep track of what I've done on this particular property when I'm coming back to it, maybe in a couple of weeks or a couple of months' time. So cool. That's about it, guys. Like I said, it's we've basically given you all that data that you're used to using in your Pricefinder account and chucked it in these property records right here. As always, really keen to hear your feedback. If there's something else you'd like to be doing with this data or another area in the software you'd like to use it, please let us know. Just either flick us an email, chat, or give us a call. Love to hear that feedback, and we'll definitely have a good look into implementing that. So